Welcome, everyone. Making comics is hard. Getting people to buy your comic is even harder.
Today, Destiny will choose 3 indie comic campaigns for us to look at and review. By the end of the show, we will choose one to give our money to based off their pitch. Which one? Come, sit, watch to the end and find out. But until then, spin that wheel.
There can be only one.
You slay me, dude.
Come on, that was drama. I should get a daytime Emmy award for that performance alone.
I mean, yes, ladies and gentlemen, right there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who Smurf is,
Best sizzle reel ever.
I had to try to get the most out of that as I could, since Ray worked so hard to get those made.
You know, I told you yesterday, if you guys missed the live launch of the Mythica Kickstarter, I came into that and I'm like, okay, I need that. That's going on all of my videos moving forward. That is brilliant. Super producer Ray, hard at work. Thank you, Ray. So good. So good.
A roll of the dice, a flip of the card, a turn of the wheel. Uh-oh. Steve's giving you some competition with some phrasing there.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I like mixing it up a little bit. I mean, today was drama. Next week, it could be comedy. Next week, it might be shadow puppets. I don't know. I never know until I put on the headphones. After that, all bets are off. So I do have to say thank you to a fan. A fan has actually donated Zeus, which is my own 5G independent tower for my phone to link to.
You must have a super fan out there. So far, you've gotten a light and a internet tower thingy now.
Yep. And headphones. Headphones were a donation. Yeah. They were like, here, you know.
Where are all my gifts? I
mean,
I haven't gotten any gifts. What's going on?
I'm sorry. I am pretty. I mean, I'm pretty.
That's it. So you're saying I'm not getting gifts because I'm ugly?
No, I'm just prettier. You're pretty. I'm prettier. See, that's a.
Gotcha.
I'm sure your gifts are coming. You get lots of gifts. You have fans. You probably have more fans than me. Yeah. We'll see. I was going to say, speaking of fans, how many fans have shown up so far for the Mythica Kickstarter that we launched yesterday?
Let's see. I'll go ahead and share this tab. Currently at 49 backers. And we're about 43% of goal.
Oh wow!
Our first 24 hours.
So double from where we were, because when we got off the air yesterday, you were at 23% roughly, according to super producer Ray. And now, wow, that's impressive. Does that take the edge off a little bit for you? Does that help? I mean, and how is that in comparison to your previous launches?
Let's see. I had, as I mentioned in the video we had, that I kind of got behind working on this book and had some live stuff come up, and my fans asking, hey, where's issue 9 or when's issue 9 coming? That's what kept me going. It was like this light at the end of the tunnel that said, hey, there's still people out there that want this. Don't give up. And so that's what kept me going. But when I was at full steam and around issue 7, we funded the entire thing in like 11 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We had just under 300 backers, which is why I still am pushing for 300 backers this time. But in reality, I'm assuming we're going to hit a little under that because, people kind of fell asleep on it. And so,
Well, now I got like
wake
that
them up again.
montage music. You're the best. Oh, nothing's gonna ever get you down. You're the best. Oh,
Steve asked a question that I get asked a lot. Is that a picture of Matt on the Mythica picture? Do a large zoom picture here. And it's not intended to be based off of me. But when I was designing this character years ago, I wanted to have a Scottish character as a hero because I hadn't seen that. I had long hair. So I put those things as artists tend to do. But it wasn't like I was like, I'm going to make myself a superhero,
well, I mean, if you can't write yourself into your own comic book, then I think you're kind of doing it wrong. Right? I mean, Larry Hama, okay, and I hate going back to G.I. Joe all the time, but it's a perfect example. Larry Hama is Tunnel Rat. That is the tribute to him for G.I. Joe. So if you were ever curious if Larry Hama does finally show up in G.I. Joe, yes, he does. He is Tunnel Rat.
Right on. I think I knew that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we're going to have to make sure to keep this show trimmed today because my other duties in life are to teach at a college. Some of you guys already know this. I teach art and design, and I have a comic book class. I have a concept art class. But today at 12 o'clock, we're supposed to be doing a department meeting. Thankfully, it's on Zoom, so I can just jump from this video over to that video. So we're going to make sure and try to keep this under the wire. I can be a little late, though.
You can be a little late. And, it's weird to hear you actually talk about having a muggle job. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's still something I love. It's art. And I love art. And I also love helping other people get better at their dreams and art and goals. So it fits right in. I don't think I could do many other jobs anymore.
So. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I wish I had a classroom. I would come and I would speak in your classroom. So when JP was teaching, he had a class. I would actually show up every semester and make an appearance and do a little lecture and take some questions because
right on
in the field kind of expert type of thing. I don't know which field. Huh?
Our super producer Ray is actually a student of mine. I think he's taken all of my classes that he can, but. He's been a student of mine for a while.
Oh, he about to be promoted to unemployed. Job seeker.
Right. Well, we have got a crazy day. We have broken the record again for the number of entries into the Wheel of Destiny this week. I don't know if that's because more people saw that we did a better job of promoting it, or there's a bunch of people starting campaigns this week. I did see at least 2 or 3 different campaigns that are starting today, and then mine started yesterday. So that might be it. I don't know, but we have 21 entries this week.
I mean, that's impressive. I mean, word is spreading. Tell your friends, tell your fans.
Yes. So let's get into it. Let's check out what these are. I'm going to go down the list here. Let's see. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah. Oh, guys, switch. There we go. There it is.
Write this down again so I can look like I'm doing my job.
All right. Now, you don't have to write all these 21 down because we're going to narrow it down to 3.
Thank God.
I'm going to read off this 21 list real fast. For all of these who entered, thank you so much. May destiny shine in your favor. Let's go down the list.
Good luck.
We've got Don't Eat Meat.
How dare you?
Game Masters, the comic book history of games. Tomorrow Girl meets Punchline. Adax, Unbound Fury. Oklahoma Kaiju 2. Demi the Demoness Omnibus. Napoleon Starship. Mittens Space Pilot, The Salvaged Chinook, Turkey Sharks, Lawbringer Season 1, Wasteland, a dark sci-fi, Steel Victory #1, The Eternal #1, Biophile Kolga, I have no idea what that means, The Killer and the Dead, Captain Nefgon. Did we look at Captain Nefgon last week, or did we just have it on the wheel?
I think, I don't know. I have to see that one.
Yeah,
maybe it's just on the wheel. We didn't do it.
Okay.
No.
Lastly, we've got Danger Squad, Ambitious Failures, and Lost Kingdom, and added at the last minute, Annabelle, Traversing Deeper, parts 1 through 4, which is the book I did a cover for that we had on the show yesterday. So that's a lot. That
is a lot. And you know what? Good luck. Thank you for submitting. I'm excited to see that there's so many people actually trying to do projects and starting stuff, and I think it's the right time. I think that there's a lot to be said coming out at the end of summer. Launch your new project and go into the third and fourth quarters strong. I like this. This makes me happy inside.
Yeah. We've also got 15 viewers currently. Thank you for everyone watching. Be sure and share out the link. If you are watching on Facebook, you could also watch us on YouTube. Be sure and subscribe to the show. That way we can get to 1,000 and be monetized, and I can start paying some of these awesome people that help make this show. But for now, let's spin that wheel, baby.
Now I got that song stuck in my head.
First one up, The Eternal, #1. All right. Well, Emmy gets that one up. I'm just writing that down.
Same. See, we are professionals. We may not look it or act like it, but we are professionals.
Next up for #2, who's it gonna be?
It better not be Don't Eat Meat.
Why? You don't even know what that's about.
Puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Next one up is Danger Squad. That sounds fun.
That does.
Reminds me a little bit of Darkwing Duck for some reason. And lastly, Destiny is choosing. Looks like 8X, Unbound Fury. All right. We got
now, just because you didn't get picked this week does not mean that you cannot resubmit. And as long as you're active, we can give it another spin for next week. So do not leave sad, broken, or upset. In fact, don't leave at all.
Yeah. If you haven't been selected, definitely reapply as long as your campaign is live. Let's see. We got 8X over here and Danger Squad. Very good. We got them all. All right. We've got Eternal #1 pulled up. Take a quick look at what it says. It says Eternal #1, a superhero comic book. A hero with a dark past battles the nefarious agenda of a global bureaucracy in this 24-page black and white comic. All right. Shall we see what the video tells us?
Please, please.
Please, please. Let's do it.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way. I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready.
All right, a little scrubbing right there.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that I was curious about, one, did you guys hear that cutting in and out?
It may be the how they loaded up the audio. I don't know. I mean, it felt like a weird music video to me. So I was getting kind of intermittent kind of levels were adjusting. I don't know. Depends on how it's recorded. I can't tell you.
Well,
but
it sounded like maybe they were like muting out a word, like a curse word or something.
There could have been like a soft edit on it, sure.
But like it would just go quiet. I just want to make sure like other people heard that. Thought it was kind of strange. Let's see what the comments say. So Todd says, hey, Dead Cosmos said he made it. Welcome everybody. So here we're looking at Internal number 1, a superhero comic book. What did you get from that video, Smurf?
All I got from that video is, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, he got hit by lightning, and if I'm to infer anything from the music, the choice of music is now he is a god, and he is doing whatever he wants. But if the music is not directly related to what we saw, then I don't know. But I got nothing past that. The pencils are nice. I like the black and white approach, and I like seeing some of the transitions from sketches to finished pages. That was kind of fun, but I don't know anything. And maybe there's like an old man like the legend out of The Boys, you know, that's trying to guide this godlike lightning struck individual.
Right.
I got nothing else. I got nothing after that. And people with machine guns that look like stormtroopers that can't aim. And I'm done.
So I'm pretty sure that these two opening sequences, these feel like AI to me. I don't know for sure, but okay. I'm starting to be able to spot AI, and they feel like AI. This is kind of cool. Nice little graphic we got on here.
Yeah. I mean, the animation that they've chosen is good. Right. I mean,
so the other going back to the music real quick, because the music, I think for me, like it got my attention right away, because when I hear music with words, that definitely sounded like a copyrighted type of music, not music that was made just for this thing. Right. And I agree with Ray. One, it didn't feel like it totally fit. It was cool, but my first thought though, like this is part of sort of a bias thing, is like as a creator, as a person who's on Kickstarter, I hear that and my first thoughts go, wait, how are you getting this on here? Like, how is this music being playable? You know, am I going to get a copyright just for playing this on YouTube? Because that didn't sound like copyrighted music, or it sounded like copyrighted music. And next thing I immediately go to is, where'd this come from? Because rule number 2 is, if you do have copyrighted music, you definitely want to credit it. And I didn't see that in the end of the video. I was looking for it.
Right. And I mean, even if it's not copyrighted, if it's produced, I mean,
even more reason to have it credited.
Even more reason. Whoever produced this, it is good. I mean, having been in the radio business, this is a good produced music, and whoever did it should get credit. I mean, hands down, and there was no credit in there. But like I said, I think it is almost produced for this Kickstarter, because like I said, being able to infer from the visuals and what the lyrics are, I think there's a connection. But we don't know. As we scroll, are those questions answered?
Well, we're about to find out. We didn't get a whole lot of information in the beginning, so we're gonna scroll down here. We're gonna take a look at what else this tells us. This is Brian's first Kickstarter, so one great thing about it being your first is you get lots of opportunity to learn new things, and you just jump in. Under story, it says, in the heart of an ancient mystical library where the whispers of literary greats echo through time lies a collection like no other. Each book is a universe, each page a world. Bound between timeless covers, welcome to the immortal verse, a realm where stories breathe and miss eternally. Right?
Okay, I didn't get any of that out of that trailer.
Right, those two things definitely haven't connected.
One of these is not like the other.
right. So,
so the music doesn't match the drapes. No, I mean the music doesn't coincide with what we saw for visuals then.
Right.
So it's just a great produced piece of music, and they should get credit. So what else we got?
Well, Ray just said that the song is from the YouTube Studio Audio Library. That's good. That means it's playable on YouTube, and I'm not going to get in trouble.
Not going to get dinged. Great.
So that's good. Look at that, super producer on the lookout. So let's go a little bit farther, because one of the things that I see a lot in writing is there's a lot of different kinds of writing. There's prose writing, there's blurb writing, there's comic book writing, and they're all a little bit different. And just because you're good at one doesn't mean you're good at another. And I've learned that the hard way myself. Like novel writing is definitely not my forte. So when I read this last little bit that I read, it sounds nicely written, but it doesn't tell us anything about the book. It's fluff. It's flowery. It sounds like it's a setup for the premise of the world and the realm, which is probably going to be the thing. You could put this on the front of every single book you ever make, probably. So what we need to do is find out, is there anything that tells us what this story is about? So let's go down here. This says, embark on the first of many journeys with the Eternal, who inhabits a world where heroes are born, destinies are forged, and cosmic tales unfold. See, there's that fluff again. Here in the immortal verse, myths and legends are not merely remembered, they are eternal. So still there's all these people in the immortal verse are myths and legends, and they are eternal, but there's only one guy called the Eternal. So what's his deal? So there we have, down here we have another section called the story. It says, this volume from the Immortal Library contains a tale of the Eternal, black and white comic built with anthology-like structure. Although the tale is continuous, it features multiple spotlight characters. This one chronicles the beginning of the immortal verse and the Eternal himself. Issue 1 showcases his origin and his current exploits as a superhero.
Can I say it?
Go for it.
Don't bury the lead.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it. Right?
This should be up. Okay. Up until now, it's been nothing but buzzwords and phrases to catch the bots. I mean, because all of these words that have been leading up to what's the story about have just all been stuff that are going to catch the algorithm and bring them here. But you're too deep in. Nobody would have gotten this far, I don't think, at this point. Especially once you read the first paragraph where nothing lines up. I think that would have been that would have been it for a lot of people, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And Steve says, it's a cool idea, the library with the books that enter worlds. Like, if that's what the premise is, that's cool. But like, I'm not sure if how the library that enters worlds and this other place where all these characters are myths and legends and eternals connect. Oops. Like, is this character the Eternals? Is this one of the worlds in the library? I'm not really sure on that. So,
I mean, because of all these books, does he travel inside of the books? I mean, is it kind of like one of those picture page where you join the story already in progress and you take on the leading role? Or, I mean, what's the point of the library with all of the books?
Right. All right. So last little thing, I'm going to add another little line here. It says, the Eternal is poised to thwart their evil machinations. Swifter than lightning and mightier than thunder, he's a champion for both the oppressed and the powerless. He is the Eternal. I think, again, like, what's his struggle? What's his deal? What's he trying to accomplish? What stands in his way? Why should we care? All those things, like. Yep. I think that some people are like scared to give away the story because they're like, oh, that's spoiler, it shouldn't be. Being able to explain the premise of your the plot shouldn't be an immediate, spoiler.
No. And
if you say this is about a guy who's trying to, stop the world from ending and there's a bunch of aliens that stand in his way, that it's not going to spoil anything.
No. Even if it's like he is an adventurer that travels into these different realms within the pages of the books in this library.
Right.
Boom. Done. Okay.
But yeah, I'm with Steve. I'm captivated by more about the idea about the library with books. There was a TV show not too long ago. I think it's called The Magicians or something, where like they kind of met in a library. Somebody,
I think that's
don't know what I'm talking about.
I think that's the Librarians, actually.
No, there you go. It might be that. Well, it had a cool premise to it, and
I did like the Librarians. It was a good show. Agreed.
Yeah. We are up to 17, 18 people viewing. Welcome, everyone. Be sure that you hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, so we can get to 1,000 followers and start getting monetized and pay these fine gentlemen that are here and the beautiful lady that's behind the scenes, Emmy, who make all this possible. We'd love to start getting them some coin, some shiny, right?
Some cheddar.
So we move on to number 2.
Please.
Which one?
Danger Squad.
Don't say it so eagerly. Please.
That's what she said.
I love it. All right, next one up is Danger Squad. All right, so here we've got, looks like this is a pre-launch. I'm not seeing it, so back to the wheel. Got to pull the wheel back up. Good. I've already taken that one down. I need to take this ADAX one down first. So Danger Squad, Eric Da Silva, this one is not active yet, so you can be sure and add it to the next show. Not this one. So back to, I closed the window, so now I got to reshare it. Sorry, guys.
Epic fail. Okay, this is not our fault.
Nope.
It's not a show unless there's some technical difficulty.
Yep. All right, so let's spin for a new number 2. A new number 2.
Oh, who does number 2 work for?
Looks like Game Masters, comic book history. of role-playing games. I think I've seen this one in passing, and I think it's got a huge following. So it should be interesting. So, Emmy, if you can get me the Game Masters while you're doing that, I will take a look at our ADAX.
Unbound.
There we go. ADAX Unbound Fury #1. Looks like they've hit their $700 goal. They still have 31 hours to go. Says the COU's #1 superpowered vigilante. All right. So you guys that have watched this show with me and Smurf here, what could be improved about that title line to get more people to know what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing, marketing 101 is if you're going to do a tagline, at least make it impactful so that it hooks people to the premise of your pitch. So if you're going to do this, you don't want to give too much away, I understand, and you're protective of your property, but at least give it something that builds a question. You know, like Harry Potter was great at this. You know, the all of the titles of her books, like, you know, I can't think of any of them, but they're always at the end, like the Half-Blood Prince. Well, who's the Half-Blood Prince? So you're immediately wanting to know more. So when you're building these taglines, do it with the intent or the mindset of, okay, how am I going to make this easily to throw out there and still create interest or buzz?
Right.
So that's usually what I say.
So Colleen hit the nail on the head for what I was thinking of, and that is, what is the COU, right? If your tagline relies on a proper name or an acronym that we aren't familiar with, then you lose some of the intrigue, some of the excitement. Because, like, if I know, if we replace that with the CIA, something I'm familiar with, right? The CIA's #1 superpowered vigilante. Well, then I have some, you know, sense of connection. I have a familiarity of, oh, it's in, you know, at least it's in the human world, probably. Then if you add to that, like, you know, an action word or what's the, you know, something like that they're trying to achieve. So in this case, it's just the CIU's #1 vigilante. Well,
what's the COU?
What are they doing, and what's the COU? Like, is this superpowered vigilante trying to save the world? You know, adding that one or two words can make a big difference in how people connect to it. And that's you know, it's small stuff like that that can make a huge difference, because this is the first thing that people see. This is going to be on the, like, preview pages when they're scrolling through Kickstarter. So Nubby Comic says, I will be hosting the ADAX #1 closeout stream on my channel on Saturday. Right on.
Excellent.
Steve says, it's hard to tell where or when this is happening, to what genre it is. Yeah, that's another thing, is that phrase doesn't tell us any. It could be in space, it can be in the Old West, and when I look at the image, it does have an Old West vibe.
It does have kind of like, yeah, it's like feudal Japan, or, you know, something Western. Right. You know, I can't tell.
So that's another thing that tagline can do, is help people understand what kind of genre, because, you know, if somebody's interested in, you know, a Western, and your book is a Western, then you want to use the word Western in your title. Right. But I just brought that up because I noticed it right away, and we've covered this before. I wanted to see who's picking stuff up, who's learning things, right? So let's dive into what the video tells us. Go full screen here. All right. So what'd you get from that one?
Well, so were there lyrics in that? Because it sounded like the music was kind of off, but I didn't know if there was like something to like they were trying to say in the background, or if there was a dialogue or
No, I feel like
something.
there's something going on with the way that the tabs are sharing now. Because this one was cutting out in the same way that the last video was cutting out. Anybody else noticing that, or is it just me? Where there's just like this like cutout every couple seconds, and I don't know if that's because of something that's been changed in StreamYard or something that's been changed in how these things are shared on when they stream to Facebook, because there wasn't any lyrics to
Okay.
cut out.
So there was no dialogue, there's no lyrics, and there was some kind of weird distortion that I was hearing. Like I said, I don't know if that was just on my end or if that was the upload. But I, again, when you're doing, the bullet points, I don't know to read how fast it is going, and by the time I started reading, it would already switched. So I was already like kind of behind because I was distracted by the music. I was looking at the art, and it's just too much right there, like at the entrance, the opening. If you could have just,
I agree. Super producer Ray said, "I thought that said meth human," and I did too.
yeah. I mean, the text, the font, not user friendly. Not
easy to read. Right?
No, it's too much of a contrast. You think black and red is going to be good. Usually it's not.
Well,
especially in a fast-moving video.
Right. As someone who has a brand that's black, red, and white for Action Studios, this comes up in class a lot. That red is the most common color for people to be colorblind with, and if they can't see it, it just comes across as dark. So basically, they're just looking at black with slightly less black on this. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, as you know, most of my students in design world know, you want to save your fancy fonts for headers, titles, things like that. But your smaller, readable fonts, especially something that's going to be on screen for only a few seconds, you want to keep it simple, like Arial or
New Times Roman. I mean, just something.
Well, as long as it doesn't have, as long as it's easy to read, that's what you're going for. Kevin said it sounded noisy. Like I said, I don't know if it's just me because I'm not hearing the cutting out when we're not playing these videos. So it definitely has something to do with playing the videos. But I hear it like every couple seconds. There's just like kind of skip in the sound, and we haven't encountered that on this show before. No. So I'm wondering what's different.
Well, and it is distracting. The music is just harsh. I don't know, but we still don't. Okay, so as the music progresses, and I gave up on reading. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll figure it out as we're watching the visuals and the story. I still don't know anything about what kind of is going on. I mean, I don't know which one's the vigilante. It almost looked like it was Mad Max style kind of setting, but then we cut from a desert background to a lush green background. So I don't know. I mean, the character designs look cool. I mean, it looks definitely 80s. It feels like 80s, 90s kind of genre, which was kind of fun. But I walked out of that like, okay, I don't know anything. Again, I don't know anything.
Right. Yeah, I'm a little confused as far as where the genre is, but I want to give the good stuff here. I think that the idea of the what I've seen so far is that basically right here it says until they messed with his family, and so I think that's where the premise starts. Is there's some sort of revenge. He's trying to find his family, that kind of thing. But he was a vigilante for some sort of organization, the COU. I don't know what that is. Then we've got sort of this old, West vibe, but she is driving a car.
There's a drone in the background.
right? This says he won't rest until they're brought to justice. But then over here somewhere it says his unbound fury. Well, unbound fury and justice are definitely not the same thing. So is he out for revenge or is he out for justice? Those are slightly contradictory kind of things. But I do like, one of the two premises. I like the idea of a revenge for someone getting his family, that kind of thing. I didn't see a lot of, and this someone else mentioned this. Let's see. There it is. Steve says, oops. Sorry, Ray. There we go. The women in the main picture didn't seem to appear in the video. And I noticed that too. Like the main video person, I was like, okay. I didn't catch that right away. But right now we know that there's a person who is a superpowered vigilante. Is it now? I'm thinking it's him because in the video we saw the girl and I thought it was her.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure it's him, and he's out for justice / unbound fury, one of the two. And
revenge of unjust reasons, right?
Right. So are one of us the artists on the book? No. No. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who the artist is. Maybe it'll tell us. Let's see if it tells us any more story. Here's another picture of the girl. Welcome to the Chosen One universe. There's our COU. So the Chosen One universe #1 superpowered vigilante. Okay, so that's not something I would have known.
Nope. That wasn't even in my list of like what possibilities it could have been. So the Chosen One universe is the organization, or
no? It's the title. It's the company of this book. It's like the Action Line Studios type of thing.
Right. So, but he's a member of the COU.
Well, I don't know if he means like as in being an actual member of a company or being like one of the titles in this publishing company.
Right.
That's where I'm not sure. But here at the Chosen Universe section, it's like immerse yourself. This is meant to entertain. So let's find something about the actual issue. Funding of ADAX. This will help pay for a variant artist. Okay. Unbound Fury continues the story of one of the main characters first seen in the COU Big Bang moment. I'm not sure. This is the first of what is to be a 3-part story arc. We'll see our hero face off against secret organization run by the evil Sarah Cole. You'll discover what they're truly up to and who is it that's been sent to track down our hero. Okay.
Okay. So they're tracking down the hero, but he's looking for them for justice and because they eliminated one of his family members, or they missed him and hit one of the family members.
Right.
Okay.
There will be elements in this story arc as well as future ones that will link the universe in a uniquely organic way. Right. So that's cool stuff
good.
too.
I like that.
But like one of the things that I think is super helpful when you have all this stuff going on, again, I feel like you've built a big, universe. You have a vast, array of things going on, which is great. So one of the things I usually recommend is like, if you can boil down what each issue is down to its core, like in this issue, let's say, this vigilante is trying to track them down or vice versa. And he's doing it because they attacked his family. If you can boil it down to that one sentence and then just kind of elaborate all of your other content around that one thing, that's really the meat and potatoes of what people are interested in the most, is like, what am I getting out of this comic? Because we, as indie comic creators, know the next comic could be, months down the road. I want to be entertained with this one. And so what am I getting for this one? And then the other stuff like this, what the universe is, this new series, all that stuff that can come down later down the line. And that again is what Smurf said. Don't don't bury the lead. Put what's this about as far at the top, and that helps a lot. We've had just last week, I forgot to mention our winner last week, Dragonfly, went back, changed their intro section, and hit goal after doing that. Now, I'm not going to say it's because of that, but they started jumping up after they made those changes, because people were able to tell right away, like, what's this about? Right?
What's it about?
Most people aren't looking.
I mean, this is an origin story, or the origin. It all starts here. It's something that's simple and eye-catching enough to like, ooh, and pull you in, and then get to the world stuff. But yeah, I looking at this, I'm like, wow, that's a long way to go to get to that small little bit of text when you should be leading with that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because almost every one of us that make comics, Todd's saying this right now, his Kickstarter launched today. I know his book, he's on issue 4, and it's an ongoing story. So like, if you start off telling people, hey, this story continues the saga of these other things, right away people are like, oh, okay, well then I definitely got to invest in these other books. But if you say, hey, in this story we're going to have a character who's fighting a dragon and it's going to be awesome, and they're going to be entertained with this one, plus down later you say, hey, this also connects to some of the other stuff, then it's like an added bonus, that there's more to the story.
It leads in. There's buy-in. There's repeat readers. That's the key. And I know we talked about this. We talk about it all the time. People going into a comic book shop, they never know where to stop. That's the number one complaint. Where am I in the story? What am I getting into? And as fans, as readers, that's annoying. So eliminate that. Eliminate that roadblock, and that's a best way of overcoming that objection.
Right. Now, again, what I do like, I like that there seems to be a pretty wide, universe being built here. There's, a lot of different characters that are introduced. So this has the potential to be something that people are going to really get into, be excited about.
Well, I mean, obviously it's already funded. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a following. Capitalize on that now. Just grow your readership, and I think if you change the hooks just a little bit, you've already got the foothold. So just put a little better of a foundation down, and I think you'll be a freaking hit. Absolutely.
Right. And they do have some stretch goals. Looks like they've got a sticker at 3,500, which their goal is at 700. They hit their goal at 700, but their next stretch goal is at 3,500. So what I like to do when I'm considering my stretch goals, and you get better at this over time, but basically if you take the total number of pledge, so in this case, I just went up. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong one. There we go. If you take the total number, which is at 970, and you divide that by 25 backers, you'll get how much the average is per person, right? And then you can figure out, well, how many more people based on that average do I need to get in order to reach that stretch goal? And if you're, new, you don't have a big following, then that might be, a lot of people. So maybe throwing in another stretch goal that is a little bit closer to this, like a $2,000 or $1,500 or something. Because the stretch goals are a great way to get people back and interactive, and keep them engaged, to say, oh, I'm about to get some free stuff, so I want to go share this, But if it's like, oh, we're still a long ways from 3,500, then it's not going to be as likely, right? So,
well, and
that's what I would do.
To your point, and I think, and that we haven't had the opportunity to bring this up yet. When you're building these world builders, okay? Obviously, you already have stuff planned and material, all right? What if one of those goals is an ash can to a bigger, or a sneak preview to the next book, or the world, or just like the player's handbook, if you will, to who's who? Something simple. You've already got all these character designs. Put that into its own little compendium as a stretch goal. So not only does it give them incentive, but it also helps further your marketing marketing without having to market, because you're getting that information out to people like, ooh, hey, I'm getting something exclusive, something behind the scenes, which everybody loves, and it also expands further on your universe. So it's something to consider, and I think this right here would benefit greatly for that gap in between the two of an ash can. Just a simple, it doesn't even have to be like intricate, just 5-6 pages, and hell, entire comic book series have been launched on less. So it really fuels your own marketing campaign in your own book.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we're running over time here, so we're going to jump into the third one.
So we've got Game Masters.
Yes, which I was just looking at. It's massive. They're at 32,500 of an $8,000 goal with 800 backers.
Holy!
This is a huge change from the ones we were just looking at. So let's dive in. Maybe there's things that we can learn from this. This says Game Masters, the comic book history of role-playing games. The history of role-playing games told in graphic novel format by Fred Van Lent and Tom Fowler. Okay. So let's see what the video shares with us. 38-second video. When you have that kind of legitimacy coming in with names like Patton Oswalt, these guys from Roll20, you don't really have to say much else. You're just like, most people in the gaming world know who these guys are.
I mean, everybody. There was not a name in there that I didn't know.
Right. And so that's what they say, what they call enough said. Right.
Enough said.
But let's learn from that. If you have any reviews of your comic from names that are from like an indie website or even a comic website that reviews indie stuff, then use that to add legitimacy to your campaign. It will give people recognizability. They're like, oh, I know who that is. And it gives them some confidence that this is an actual book that's going to get made. Because you got to remember that everyone that comes on Kickstarter, they're looking at this stuff and they all have to sign the disclaimer that said, even though you're giving money, there's a chance this book won't even get made.
Yep.
And so there's this fear factor, right? So anything that you can do to add legitimacy and quotes and blurbs like this are great ways to do it. Even if it's just some friends, that's still something. It's not as powerful as recognizable names, but it's still something, somebody that's looked at the work and said, I really love this stuff. But the more that, the more well-known they are, the more powerful and resourceful it's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah. Now the history of role-playing games in a comic book format, Nerds That Geek. Yeah. I have a quote, I think, on my page from Nerds That Geek. That's on my Kickstarter campaign right now. So let's see. More quotes here. Role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, which players take the roles of heroes in their own story, have solidly moved from the geek fringes to the mainstream, beloved by celebrities and inspiring hit podcasts and successful crowdfunding campaigns. And this is true. D&D is really exploding, and not just D&D, but like board games in general.
Tabletop.
They are the number one income producer, I think, on Kickstarter. They do it with less campaigns than comics do because they're usually raising more money at a time. But they are raising the most money in most cases. But this looks cool. The artwork, I want to know who is doing this artwork because it looks familiar to me. Like a very classic style. I don't know if you can how well
I
you can see that.
kind of
I'll
make
zoom
it
in a
out,
little
but
bit. Right. It's got this sort of classic 70s or 80s flair to it. So, Clover Press. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful work. I mean, Jim Zub is commenting on it. Hardcover. So this is a really exciting book. However,
it's got kind of a Joe Mad kind of feel to it with like the character design. Joe Mad Dorero, yeah, because
I know who you're talking about.
But that kind of looks like almost.
Oh, Meet the Creators. There we go. It did say this at the beginning. Fred Van Lent. I'm trying to decide who is the artist here. It just says who they are.
Right.
So I don't know if they're all the artists or. But so here's the thing. I want to support the smaller indie community. And this campaign looks awesome. I might go, support this campaign on my own. I'm not a gigantic D&D fan. I won't get into that. But I love the idea. I love the book. It's very professional looking. It doesn't really feel like an indie project. And so to compare this to these two other indie books, to me, feels a little bit lopsided. What do you say?
I mean, okay, here's my creative critique. And following within our own rules, I don't know what this is about.
Well, it's the history of gaming.
The history of gaming. Okay, so is it just like a table, a coffee table book? Is it reference material? You have all this amazing art. So there's no story. It's just the history. So the story itself is the history of gaming and of tabletop. I love the art.
Yeah.
I love the premise, but I just want that differentiator that I have the right thing in my head. Because like you said, when you go in and you're expecting one thing, is it a Western? Is it a sci-fi? So is this reference material? Like a picture book for Lego. Okay, perfect example.
Yeah, is it like in story format, or is it more like a documentary? I get what you're saying.
So I for our own rules, we really don't know. So it's the history of gaming. Great, and I have donated so much money to tabletop Kickstarters. The Ghostbusters has 2 games that I have pledged money to, because I wanted that Statue of Liberty freaking piece to go on my Ghostbusters tabletop game. So I've done that before, but I don't. I'm seeing a bit of a disconnect. It is unfair, maybe because these guys have a budget, but they have more word of mouth than what we saw in the production value of the video. So it's simple. It catches your eye, and then immediately you're drawn in with the names and everything else. So I don't know. It's I'm of two minds of it, because is it fair? I don't
right.
No, I can't answer that, because
we may be making a Wheel of Destiny choice then. So here's the thing. We're gonna wrap this up. We've got the Eternal #1, which is basically this big universe and this main character that we saw called the Eternal. Don't really know exactly what he's doing, but we know that he's got powers, and there's a lot of other characters in the world that have powers. Then we have Adax, who is a superpowered vigilante and is going after the people who messed with his family. And then we have this Game Master's book, very professionally done, big name people supporting it. We don't exactly know like what kind of premise it is as far as the layout, but we do know that it's a book about the history of gaming. And so of the 3 of those, I have a personal thought on which one of these has a clear description about what's going on. And so we're going to choose right now. So make your choice in the comments section. Which one do you think deserves to be backed today? Where did I put my marker? I lost my marker. There it is. Right. And then when we're ready, we'll do the drum roll. And if we don't line up, then we're going to have to do a Wheel of Destiny between the two different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So are you ready, sir?
I'm ready. You ready?
I am ready. Drum roll, please. Oh. All right. So, so the reason I went with this one is that I felt like even though it was a bit muddy and needed some work on delivery, this at least had a character trying to achieve something. So while you tell me why you chose yours, I'm going to set up a new Wheel of Destiny.
I picked Game Master simply because I liked the presentation. I know everything aside, professional or not, you use your resources, and they're using their resources well. I love the art. I think the premise is cool, and I want to know more. I agree with you that ADAX is very cool. I want to know more about that universe, but just simply because you have to go so deep for that, small 3-sentence blurb, that needs to be higher up. So I got more out of Game Master's video than I did for ADAX. We didn't even get ACU until like way down deep, and it's the universe. It's not an agency, which I was confused. I thought ACU was an actual government agency. It's an acronym for something. I didn't know it was the entire universe. So I would just clear those, like you said. It's muddy. Clear up the water a little bit. Change your tagline, and I think you've got a bona fide hit. But that leaves us to having to spin the wheel because him and I rarely disagree.
I gotta say, part of my bias was I felt like the Game Master's book wasn't really an indie comic, which is what this show's primarily about supporting. I felt like it was the most professional book. I felt like it was, had all that stuff. I agree with you on all that. I think my bias was just I want to support the indie comics community more in this case. So let's spin that wheel and see who our winner of the week is. Oops, I'm trying to spin the video or our other video. All right, looks like you are the winner here. So,
Destiny shines on me.
To the Game Masters. All right, so
I didn't even see if there's a digital version available for that.
Yeah,
we really didn't dive too deep into that one, so I guess I'll be finding out when I go make my pledge.
Yeah, well, it looks like there is. It's $15, and 153 people have pledged just for the digital version. Steve said that was his vote too, and so did Kevin. So you had some people on your side with that one. I agree, it was the most professional looking one, for sure. But so hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you learned something from the show. Be sure and check out all of these different Kickstarters that we've seen today, including my shameless plug here for my own Mythica 9. It just launched yesterday. Be sure and check that one out as well. You can be sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to start making videos that are more about the individual parts of making comics and art and all the stuff that I teach in school down in these smaller chunks. So be sure and check that out. Also, Smurf, where can they check you out?
You can check us out on 5280geek.com. We're 5280geek on all of your podcasting platforms. You'll be able to hear this show in addition to my own, along with Facebook, Instagram, and all of the socials. We're 5280geek. So just look us up. You can't miss us or this gigantic head. It's just big dome. Big dome on this kid.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you next Friday at 11 a.m.
Give us a like. Give us a share. Laugh hard and always be kind. Super producer Ray, you jumped the gun.
Uh,